Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I am Dr. Jota and I will be your host. And today I would like to talk to you regarding three different topics that we have, because one of them is just literally breaking news regarding to Sergio Ramos and his future in Real Madrid. But I would like also to speak about a little bit the information that delivered yesterday Josep Pedrerol and El Chiringuito, who claimed that Real Madrid apparently is not willing to pay the 150 million that PSG might ask for the French player. And also, by the end of the video, I would like to speak a little bit about Eden Hazard, because right now we don't know if Eden Hazard is bouncing back and finally recover for Real Madrid his best version, or if it's just, a mirage or something like that. So let's get started with the first topic, and I would say the arguably the most important topic right now, because as you probably know, over the last week or so, we've been talking a lot about Kylian Mbappe and his future in PSG and his possible sign for Real Madrid the next season. Okay, let's try to recap a little bit all the information that we have regarding to Kylian Mbappe. So last night in El Chiringuito, Josep Pedrerol, who is arguably one of the most important and reliable sources when it comes to Real Madrid and the board members, because as you probably know, this journalist is very close to Florentino Perez. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Pedrerol is a very good friend of Florentino Perez, but I would say that he's very close to the president of Real Madrid. So every single thing we know, or every single thing he says regarding to Real Madrid and the official position of Real Madrid regarding to this topic or the other one, is something that he really knows. So it's mostly reliable. And last night, like I said, Giuseppe Pedrerol claimed that Real Madrid apparently is not willing to pay the 150 million that allegedly PSG is going to ask for Kylian Mbappe the next year. This is just, it's not news, it's just basically his opinion or the information that he has. And all that is related to the last words of Kylian Mbappe the last Friday, where he claimed that something like, okay, if I renew my contract with PSG, it's going to be for a while. I mean, it's going to be for a long time, for the future, for the long term, or whatever you want to call it. But it's not going for, okay, I'm going to sign this contract and then the next year I will move to Real Madrid. No, that is not going to happen. So right now what we have is basically, on one side we have to Kylian Mbappe pushing Real Madrid to do something so he can know if Real Madrid is really interested in signing him for the next year. And on the other hand, we have to Real Madrid trying to wait for the next year, 2022, in order to bring him to Real Madrid for free. Because to me, that is the point of all this story. That Real Madrid doesn't want to pay a single euro for Kylian Mbappe. Because think about it. If you have to pay about 150 million euros for Mbappe and then you have to pay his salary, I mean, Mbappe is not going to come to Real Madrid just for making, I don't know, maybe 10 millions a year or 8 millions a year or 12 millions a year. No, if he comes to Real Madrid, he will want a salary like, I don't know, I would say 15 to 20 millions a year, because he's one, and he already knows that he is one of the most important names in the soccer spectrum. He's one of the big names. I mean, you cannot pay him like 8 millions, 10 millions. No, it doesn't work that way. If you want to hire to Kylian Mbappe, you have to prepare about 15 to 20 million. And the problem is that if you pay 20 million to Kylian Mbappe in Spain, you have to pay an additional $20 million to the social security and taxes and all this stuff. So it's a pretty big deal, because if that was only like 20 million total, that would be great, but it's not. I mean, for example, it's the same situation with Gareth Bale. we were paying like $50 million to Gareth Bale every single year, but then you have to pay additional $50 million to the social security and taxes and administration and all the stuff. So that's why Real Madrid is not willing to pay 150 million, because the top priority right now, according to Pedrerol, for Real Madrid is to save this season whatever it takes without spending a single euro in signings or big names or something like that. That is the most important thing for Real Madrid right now. So you cannot say, okay, let's try to sign this guy or the other one. No, that is not the priority for Real Madrid right now. That's why we are having a lot of problems with Sergio Ramos. And that's why I think that Sergio Ramos is very close to leave Real Madrid this season. Because right now, Real Madrid wants to cut off the salaries of the players in 10% or even 25%. That is the last information I have regarding to the salary cuts payments. So what are you going to do then? I mean, this scenario is very, very dark for Real Madrid in order to sign to Kylian Mbappe. I don't know what is going to happen, but let me tell you something. Kylian Mbappe doesn't want to wait any more years, doesn't want to wait or doesn't want to push another more year in order to come to Real Madrid. He doesn't want, and that is, you know, point blank. That is the thing. Kylian Mbappe wants to sign this season for Real Madrid. I mean, actually, they say that he is willing to make less money in Real Madrid, but he wants to come not right now, but maybe at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? But what he doesn't want is to wait another more year in order to come to Real Madrid. So that's why he said, okay, if I sign with PSG another contract, I'm gonna stay for longer, for a long time. I would say 5 to 10 years. I don't know, maybe 5, maybe 6, 4. I'm not sure about that. So pretty dark situation, pretty off situation for Real Madrid in order to sign Kylian Mbappe. Now, let's move on and let's talk about Sergio Ramos, because like I said, I have breaking news regarding to Sergio Ramos. Look, Onda Cero in Spain is a radio show who claimed last night that PSG has put on the table an offer for Sergio Ramos for signing him the next season. The thing or the point of this whole story is basically that 3 weeks ago it was released that Florentino Perez and Sergio Ramos had a meeting in Elche before the game against Elche, like 3 weeks ago. It was early January or something like that, and they had a meeting, and in that meeting Sergio Ramos said that he apparently, he didn't say, okay, I have an offer from PSG. He said something like, okay, somebody told me that PSG wants to make a great team for the next year with Leo Messi and me. That is what allegedly Sergio Ramos told to Florentino Perez in that meeting, okay? So what we have now is that offer apparently was true, and PSG is planning already to hire or to sign to Sergio Ramos for the next year. And that offer would include some of the requests that Sergio Ramos was asking to Real Madrid. Number one, the number of years in contract, 3 years. Real Madrid, remember, was offering only 2 years to Sergio Ramos. And the number two reason is PSG is willing to pay 50 million net, okay, 50 million euros to Sergio Ramos per season. 50 million euros, 45 millions total during those 3 years of contract. That is basically obviously more money than he would receive from Real Madrid if he stays. Because right now the salary of Sergio Ramos in Real Madrid is basically, I think it falls between 12 and 50 million euros, okay? But now you have to keep in mind that Real Madrid wants every single player cut his salary in 10% or even an additional 25%. So that would be say 12 to 15, okay, he would be back to 8 or 10 millions a season. And PSG is offering 15 million euros per season. Okay, that said, that is, I mean, it's beautiful. It sounds awesome for Sergio Ramos. That would be great because I don't think that Real Madrid will try to catch up that offer or something like that. But let me tell you something. Although the information is very reliable, let me tell you that 3 days ago we knew that, or we were told that PSG had losses about 200 million euros. I mean, 200 million euros, it's a lot of money. So can you tell me how PSG is going to hire to Messi and pay a salary to Messi? How is going to sign to Sergio Ramos and pay a big salary to Sergio Ramos? And number 3 and number 4. And all this stuff is in the middle of the renewal of Neymar and Mbappe. So you are supposed to increase the salary to your big 2 stars, to Neymar and Mbappe. So I mean, this math, I mean, do the math. That would be more than 100 million 100 million a year just in 4 salaries. I mean, there's no way, man. I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe that information, but I'd say, okay, let me ask you something. How in the hell are you going to pay these 4 salaries to these 4 guys? To me, it's almost impossible. Number 1, the losses from this season. Number 2, there won't be any public before the next year in the stadium. So you are not going to get any money, any single money from ticketing. That is so important. And number 3, right now, there is a big issue with the television rights. I mean, as you probably know, the most of the teams get paid a lot of millions euros every single year just for selling the rights to the TVs, to the different platforms and TVs in order to show the games and all the stuff. Okay, in France, there was a huge scandal because MediaPro, who has all the rights to show the games and stream the games and all the stuff, they went bankrupt. So they didn't pay anybody. So right now they are facing, I mean, all the teams in France, they are struggling financially to go through. So how are you going to pay these guys if you are not receiving any money from the televisions, if you are not receiving any money from ticketing, if you are not receiving any money from other sources? How are you going to do that? I mean, that is my question. So I'm not saying, again, the information is not reliable. I think it's reliable enough, but to me, it's a little bit difficult to put everything together. You know what I'm saying? So that is my point. At least, I mean, the most important, the whole point here is that Sergio Ramos, I mean, allegedly has already an offer from PSG, okay? So that is the information from Onda Cero, the radio show in Spain. And the last story, the third story I have for you guys today is about Eden Hazard. Because as you probably know, Eden Hazard played against Alaves the other day, and he made, you know, arguably one of the best games that we can remember over the last 4 months. Because, you know, he has been like kind of on and off, you know, he went back to play and then he scored 1 goal and then 4 weeks out because he was injured and COVID and all the stuff. So he's been like on and off, okay? So 2 days ago against Alaves, Eden Hazard made a very good performance against Alaves. That's it. So he scored 1 goal and he assisted to Karim Benzema. So can we now be happy towards Eden Hazard? Can we now trust in that this recovery, this allegedly recover, will keep in the long term, or is just kind of mirage or something that, okay, that happened the other day but is not going to happen again? Okay, let me give you my honest opinion about that. When it comes to Eden Hazard, after 1.5 years in Real Madrid, right now, I mean, I can't be happy with only 1 single game. I know that there are a lot of journalists and media and stuff and websites saying, wow, Eden Hazard is back, he bounced back, he made the great performance ever seen in Real Madrid and all the stuff. But to me, man, it's just a game. I mean, he scored, very good, he assisted, which is good, but has been the first time since 3 months. Hey, I mean, Hazard has been 3 months off, pretty much with dealing with injuries, COVID, quarantines, the overweight and all the stuff. So this guy has been around for over the last 1 year and a half, and it's the first time again that we are saying, I mean, it's not the first time, it's actually the third time we are saying, oh, now Hazard is back again. We said the same thing against Huesca when he scored 1 goal, and the next day all the media was like crazy with, oh, Eden Hazard is back, the best version of Eden Hazard is back, the Hazard from the Chelsea days is back and all the stuff. I mean, to me that is crazy because it's just 1 game. I mean, if as of now, as of today, if after Alaves he keeps playing that way and scoring and being important and assisting and moving around, creating holes, gaps and all the stuff, and being really dangerous for the rivals, then I can say, okay, this guy is getting better, he's coming along, he's doing the things a little bit better than before, so I should trust him and give him some credit and all the stuff. But otherwise, we have to be cautious because we might be in front of the same situation 3 months ago. And it was just a very good game against Alaves. He did a great job, of course, I agree with that. But what is going to happen the next Saturday? What kind of version are we going to see the next Saturday? The best version or the bad version? So the least thing, in my opinion, we can do, Los Madridistas, is, okay, relax, take it easy, let's see what happened in the next game, and then, so that way we can assess what is the situation right now when it comes to Eden Hazard. That is my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying, I don't want to blast him, I don't want to criticize him, but of course, as a Madridista, I'm strongly believe, I really believe that we have to be cautious, man. You cannot say like, oh, okay, this is done, Hazard is back, he's gonna be the best, or like Loco Gatti the other day in El Chiringuito saying that Eden Hazard will be even better than Leo Messi. Oh my God, come on. I mean, it's just 1 game, man. I mean, it was good, it was okay, but it's just 1 game. So that is my opinion. Now I would like you guys to comment in the section below, and of course help us this channel to make this channel your channel when it comes to Real Madrid and all Real Madrid news and all the stuff, and subscribe this channel, Real Madrid Hub. See you in the next video.